Welcome to the Avants Podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Nick, and I'm on camera, and I feel good about it.
I feel like I need to work out more.
Yeah, I don't like this angle.
I'm like, nice to see everyone.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
How was your weekend, man?
It was pretty good. I did some OCD cleaning, and then I was waiting on new primitive racing skid plates for the Outback Wilderness, and they finally came in, which I had, by the way, speaking of that, and people are friends, I finally got to use Stu's garage. I went there on Monday, and wonderful experience. Like,
It sounds much better than the dirt floor in my shop already.
Well, I mean, this is true.
I have lots of cardboard.
You were doing a ton of stuff. Last time I used your dirt floor, I kind of lost a big critical bolt, which I found, which, we need to get a magnet at your house. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had never had a chance to do that. I'd been there before, but I'd never had worked on my car. And it was a lot of fun, and obviously an Avants partner. And so it was a lot of fun. If you haven't done it yet, I really suggest it's well put together. He's done a great job. It's incredibly safe. So. Yeah.
And if you've ever
I have all my fingers.
Yeah, so. If you've had the privilege to work on a lift, oh, man.
Oh, so nice.
The hype is real.
I realize that. That's what takes so, had I been at your house or you and I working on it, would have taken us 3 hours. Like, with that lift, I had everything off the car and on the car in an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so easy.
Right at your fingertips. You can see
so
everything.
Nice. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
How was your weekend?
Extremely busy. I don't feel like I had one. It was Friday, and then it was Monday, and it's Wednesday now that we're recording on. And
Told you bought a farm. What's Tuesday, too, by the way, just so we're clear. Yeah. So you emphasized your point really well there.
Yeah. I've been on the phone since noon. Nick caught me eating in the parking lot here.
Come out there. I thought you were on the
I'm
phone.
Like just shoving beef jerky in my mouth. I'm like, I need protein or I'm going to fall asleep.
Candy bars. Yeah. Sure.
So, yeah, beef jerky and roast turkey.
Well, you brought your teeth flosser, so you're good.
I did bring my flosser.
Well, every time, and I'm so used to it in the fact that, like, if you pull up into a parking lot and get out of your car, like, I'm usually think you're on the phone, so I go up there and, like, nicely knock, make sure I'm not interrupting some phone call, because I've been in your car sometimes and I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, I should probably stop talking. Yeah.
Yeah, no rest for the weary this time. But it's been good. It's not been bad. It's just been busy. Busy sometimes is good.
He says while rocking back and forth and sucking his thumb. But yeah.
I'm on camera so they can tell I'm not sucking my thumb.
Oh, well, they're never going to see this. This is never making it to. Yeah.
Yeah, we might get some snippets here and there. There's some things to come. Watch our train wreck.
These are the kind of things that are to be played at our funeral, Dan, which could come sooner than later. We don't know. So who knows? Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's do the Carter Automotive Group tip of the week.
Okay. What you got?
Well, I was looking at doing some brackets in the shop, actually, because I have that new miter saw, which it's, I forget the name of it. It's not on a lever like the Bosch one, so it needs a pretty good back spacing. So one of the things I was looking at was a collapsible counter. Yeah. Something that folds up and down, and I was like, well, I could make some brackets or buy some brackets, and news to everyone, brackets are cheap on Amazon, so I'm doing that. But I was like, man, if I just had some basic welding skills, and I have no welding skills at all, not even a little bit. Terrible at it. But it occurred to me that it's like, I don't actually know the acronyms. I say them all the time.
That's acronyms.
MIG welding, TIG welding.
You said them right.
Yeah.
Oh, those mean things?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know them either. Okay.
And I was like, I can't be the only one. So I'm going to bring it up on the show.
Okay.
And metal inert gas, that's MIG welding.
Of course. I mean, that's what I was going to say,
Who
right?
didn't think of that? So this is like, when people talk about welding or trailside welding, things like that, they're typically talking about MIG welding. And this is relatively easy to use. Go to your community college, take a class. You can probably get enough very, very basic skills. I'm not calling this good, but to get yourself by in a pinch. If you need to weld something in a pinch for like a trailside repair or a bad trailer hitch or something like that, like MIG welding is probably where you want to start. It's probably the relatively low cost of entry for things, kind of self-contained unit, little wire feed. That's when people think of welding, they typically think of that. So, little auto feed thing. You can probably figure it out. Watch some videos on YouTube. Make sure you wear the glasses so you don't blind yourself. Maybe some protective gear because, electricity and fire. What could go wrong, right?
Fun.
Yeah. The next one, TIG welding, tungsten inert gas. This is where like the fine tuning stuff comes in for like really thin sheet metal. And I specifically am mentioning these types of welding because these are what's used typically in auto body. And I've seen this a lot over the years. Again, no idea what it was doing, just watching it going, wow, that's neat. It makes metal stick together. So TIG welding is arc welding process that involves using non-consumable tungsten electrode. So that means
feed it in there.
Yeah. Feed it in there. And then Uses shielding gas, usually argon gas. Those big metal tanks you see, that's typically argon gas, and then a filler metal. And then that prevents contamination. Much, much harder to do. This is where you guys are getting paid. So your real fine-tuned welders, Keith Northrup out there, he's going to be your expert in this kind of stuff.
That's MIG, right?
That's TIG.
That's TIG.
Yeah.
And then I've MIG welded because I made the license plate bracket for my monkey. Dave Wheaton helped me. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And then the last one, metal arc welders, so stick welders. This is old school welding.
Okay.
And actually, probably the hardest to do well. Probably easiest to just do and do terribly and still make metal stick to metal, but probably doing it well. If you've ever watched like artistic welding on YouTube, these are the guys that are like amazing artists, and that's super old school stick welding.
The ones I give more credit to, and I had an ex that did this, she underwater welding.
Yeah.
Which I still don't quite understand how that works, and she explained it to me, and I still don't understand it, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is outdoor welding. It's kind of, as they say, it's sort of outdated these days compared to new technology. Still an amazing skill to have, and still has its uses, but you just don't see it that often in industrial applications.
I'd love to learn more, but then it's just going to turn into I'm going to need to buy equipment, and then it's just, yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
How deep down? I have toolboxes upon toolboxes now, home ownership stuff, and I'm just like, how much have I spent on tools?
Enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
Exactly. The other type of welding I'm not going to get too far into here, you see in auto body a lot, is spot welding. And that's how when you're replacing entire body panels, quarter panels, things like that, you have this massive machine with two jaws that stick on and put spot welds in place. Yeah.
Like in a factory.
Yeah, like in a factory, but they have versions for body shops now that are are actually required for a lot of repairs. So for structural integrity.
The more
anyway,
you know.
Obviously, again, super high level. If you want to listen to more about welding, you know what? I'm actually going to try and get Keith back up on the show. That'd be cool to have him actually talk about this because this is such a useful skill that I wish I knew how to do. And my nephew's a welder.
Yeah,
I should probably actually ask him about that.
Probably talk to him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
respect all the welders out there. It's a craft and an art to see what you guys do, and obviously I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's your Carter Automotive Group tip of the week.
Well, I want to take a small moment to do some customer service. That the Avants is big on customer service. When
That's
people
true.
when we're at Dan, when you and I are out, we always notice the Avants members. We talk to them.
That's true.
We're kind to them. We're not quite sure who this is, but I believe they own a BMW, and they were out at the airport probably on Tuesday, and they ran into our lovely Chrissy. Head ambassador for Avants here in Pacific Northwest in the Washington area. And apparently they nicely waved at her, and she just, in her new rig that says Avants on the side of it, and she's like, whatever. So, that won't happen again. We know, we see you, and we're sorry she didn't. So, yeah.
We're having a good laugh at her expense, though. But yes, thank you for saying hello.
You can't see because she's laughing. Well, yeah. Welcome to customer service at Avants. That wouldn't happen in Portland.
That's true, and we should talk about Portland.
Yes.
Well, speaking of Portland, someone made the very long trek north to see us.
Technically, she came from Florida.
It's really
That's
long.
That's a
you make a joke.
Terrible detour.
I walked in here today, and she's like, I've been drinking since 8 o'clock this morning. And I was like, you're from Portland. That's what I said to her. I'd drink there, too.
Sheri, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
How do I say your Harbour de Vos?
I was waiting for that. I'm like, wow, you didn't ask me
No.
before this started.
No,
So
I'm just going to
I was
throw
waiting
it out
for you
there.
to
No, it doesn't.
throw it out
I've
there.
read it 100 times.
It's Chrissy from Avants. It's Sheri from Avants.
Yeah. Moving
Last
on.
name from Avants.
From Avants.
From Avants. It's Adam from Avants.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I need that in quotes on my card.
There you go.
No, really. How do I say it, though?
He's like, I asked you a question.
Yeah.
Harbour de Vos.
De Vos. Okay. I was saying it wrong the whole time in my head.
However you want to say it.
I had it written down in my notes.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I'm not good at this. I actually made notes because Dan's like, and Dan has encouraged me to do better about that. And I was like, yeah, I took notes. It's on my phone that we're using to record.
Then now we're all.
Hi,
That
phones.
Hi, phones. Yeah.
Well, welcome. What is your story? Besides Avants, how did the whole transition from life to Avants happen?
My gosh.
You can summarize it a little bit, but not a lot.
Can we put a little more general? Just a little more general. Wow. I've always loved cars.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much I loved cars until really recently because I just thought everybody was as interested in cars as I was. I just thought it was a pretty standard thing. Until I was talking about some movies with my daughter recently, and she's like, "Mom, God, every movie you talk about, it has to do with the car that's in it and who's driving it and what it is. And I'm like, oh yeah. And so anyway.
What's your favorite car movie then, real quick?
First of all, you don't need that type of negativity in your life.
Just 'cause
I
she's
know
your daughter.
yours,
It was
but,
an
you know.
observation. It was an observation.
Yeah, well, sounds like a jab to me.
There's so many. There's so many. I mean, Death Race 2000.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
the original.
The original,
I
yeah.
did
Yeah,
not
it's-
see that coming. I was expecting like Herbie the Love Bug or like
Cannonball Run, the
Mater
typical
from Cars.
Yeah.
But no, okay. Death Race, sure.
Peter Carradine and Sylvester
Yep,
Stallone.
thank
Yeah.
you. Exactly. That was a pivotal, in my life. I was just, oh my God.
I want to drive and kill people. This is great.
So like crazy, the whole thing. I loved it. And then of course,
Did you background check her before? Okay, I was,
We had coffee.
yeah. I feel like she's one of those people who watches the How to Get Away with Murder and has a notepad. So, Death Race 3000. Yeah,
3,000. 2022.
exactly.
So yeah, cars. I've been in publishing forever. Then I was like, wow, I'm really bored with this. And it'd be just,
Well, we just
too long.
started. That's kind of a Jesus.
I'm done, guys. I'm out.
Bye, everybody.
I'm out.
It's a short little clip here. So then I actually had written a resignation letter. I really had been with this company forever, the publishing, and I got a call from a friend of mine at the Ferrari dealership in Portland, and he said, "Hey, I'm looking for a marketing director. Do you think you could do that?" And I'm like, "Yes."
That's Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I can do that. Why not? What else do you? I can do anything. What do you want me to do?"
Fake it till you make it.
I like
I can
the
do
answer.
that. Yeah.
Good answer.
So there I was there for a number of years, and then I went down and did a little jog in California and was kind of back and forth to Portland, more Ferrari dealerships. It was a blast, but it's somewhere in there. A couple of years ago, I met this gentleman named Adam
Yeah, I've heard of him.
with Avants.
Overrated.
And he came in, introduced himself, sat down. I don't know what he wanted to talk about, something at the dealership, So I'm like, sure, come to my office. So we sat and we talked, and I'm like, okay, I really don't get it. I think I actually called him later and was like, I don't get it. I need you to just let's talk through this.
That is the
Avants
same.
program.
I'm glad that you described it to her like you described it to us. Like when we both walked away going, I don't get it.
I don't.
That is a true story.
Literally,
Both Nick and I were
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I really get it.
Yeah.
I was like, but I think he's going to do okay at it. That was literally the conversation we had. So we're like,
He's
so we're on
passionate.
board.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
So called him. Let's talk through this some more. I think I like it. Like it sounds great.
Let me fix this for you.
So then, all right. So then he invited me onto the Facebook, that whole awesome piece of it. And I'm like, so then I just kind of started watching, and I'm, looking at the dynamic and the positivity, and clubs can be a certain way.
The Avants page. I thought he invited you onto his Facebook. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Here's my kids. Here's my life.
Positivity. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Understood. Okay.
Here's my cute kids. Hang out.
Yeah. They look like each other. Are you sure you're not having a mirror?
And so we chatted about that, and then we started. I helped him launch Avants in Portland a couple of years ago, just before. It was end of 2019.
Cool.
So let's talk about dates, right?
For the
2019.
vid. Yeah.
Here we go. So it's kind of hard to launch something that is all about meeting and getting together and gathering, right? So we had a few months of awesomeness. I was still working at RTGT over at Tonkin and having fun over there. So, that just kind of got put on hold. So it continued. It just kind of slowed down like everything else. And then timing worked out. I mean, I was still going to Avants events. Adam would call and go, hey, I put something together. Do you want to go say hi?
Yeah.
Sure. So I show up. Some people knew I was part of Avants.
Pretend like you work there. Just go. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, sure. So I show up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of funny.
Roll up in a Ferrari. What's up?
I did.
Yeah. That's a great intro.
Yep. So that was a blast. So then, I don't know, a few months ago, he was putting an ad out for a full-time person, and I'm like, hey.
I kind of like what you're doing.
Adam. I kind of, hey.
I know what you do now.
Yeah, I kind of figured it out.
Took a few years, but we figured
A
it
couple
out.
years.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense now. I'm in. So yeah. The rest is history. Here I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
All right.
did you grow up with cars? Like, did you grow up in a family that loved cars and appreciated the automobiles and liked to drive fast and things like that?
Yes, eventually. I grew up in a floating community out in the islands of Alaska with no roads, no cars. We had planes and boats. So
I've seen some like Discovery Channel show. There was a Discovery Channel show about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huh. There's an answer I did not expect.
Yeah.
So Alaska,
You know what she didn't have
Florida?
growing up? A basement. That was in my notes. Did you go down to the cellar? No. There are sharks.
my notes.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Eventually moved to a small town. With
Which
roads.
was an upgrade from living on.
with roads.
Yeah.
And my brother, so he ended up buying a Camaro, in high school, and I was the one out there holding flashlights and
Getting sweared at.
wrenching more.
Stop moving the lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More Lyme disease.
Yeah.
So then,
Did you say Lyme disease?
no, more light
Oh,
disease.
sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Fifth Element.
ticks.
More light.
Fifth
Yeah,
Element.
yeah, yeah,
Thank
yes.
you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys need to grow up.
Never.
That's a great movie.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Multi-pass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but my dad was always working on something. I mean, so where I'm from, if it has to be held together with somehow duct tape, rubber
Zip
bands,
ties, yeah.
zip ties,
You got to learn to fix
tinfoil.
everything.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it breaks,
Like
yeah.
you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you got to go through the salvage yard and figure out. Yeah, that's neat.
Yep.
Do your
But-
parents still live up there?
No.
Okay, nice. How'd you end up down here?
I moved to Los Angeles. From there. Dun,
That
dun,
must have been
dun.
us.
More
Yeah.
roads.
You know what? I don't have enough around me. People.
And roads.
And
cars,
roads,
and
yeah.
cars that don't rust immediately. So that was
Oh yeah,
awesome.
that too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There are
very-
pretty spectacular roads around LA. Common popular belief. Everything in LA, terrible driving. Everything outside of LA, amazing driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's probably some pretty good roads in Alaska too.
Like 3.
Dirt roads.
Well-
but yeah.
Where I grew up on an island. We had 30 miles of road. There's still only 30 miles of road.
Okay.
You could drive off the end, so it's not great. Yeah, but there was a road. Yeah. So it's cars. Worked. Dad, mom had great taste in cars. She bought me my first car.
What
She
was your
flew to
first car?
Seattle. 1975 Celica GT
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
from Seattle. Barged up to Ketchikan.
Oh, I was going to ask you if it was Ketchikan.
Yep.
That's what it sounded like. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway. All right. So, car scene in Portland. You start up there. Avants is a very big entity in Portland. I actually know quite a few members down there.
Awesome.
Me
too.
Yeah, I assume so.
Turned into a pissing contest real quick, didn't it? Yeah, I know people too. Just so we're clear, I know some people there too.
So, as you started the role as officially Sheri from Avants,
Mhm.
how has the community been down there for you?
Fabulous. I mean, it's a fun. There's such a large community
Mhm.
that there's large pockets, and so what I love about Avants, was just kind of watching and learning a couple of years ago as I'm watching kind of the Seattle thing happening, is it really just brings together all these different communities and
Yeah.
and provides a overall culture of cars, positive and just kind of going back to all of that fun and enthusiasm. I'm fairly enthusiastic about a lot of things.
It's a good definition for Avants, by the way. You should write that down.
Yeah, it's a automotive enthusiast lifestyle brand. Maybe
I like that. Yeah.
you like that?
I don't. Yeah.
Just thought of it.
I mean, obviously,
Like she's in marketing.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we a lot of times we've been down there. Obviously, the Lake Oswego area. I mean, where Grand Tonkin is. There's a wonderful car community there that I was involved in years ago before I was even in this area. But where else? I mean, where a lot of the car communities from down there? Like, I mean, I don't see a lot of people keeping, and I'm gonna say this nicely, a lot of really nice cars in downtown Portland right now. So.
Well, I mean, the beauty about Avants is it's not just about nice cars. I mean, for me, like, I truly, truly love all cars, and especially if you love it, God, I just really want to hear why you love it, right? So, I mean, all over Beaverton, huge community. I mean, obviously Lake Oswego, but just south of Lake Oswego is Wilsonville. And I mean, those roads.
Oh, yes.
Because those people are serious. They want to live out in those roads. They've got the bigger houses and the bigger garages, and they can really take them.
I just want to live by the outlets. It's cheaper.
There you go.
That's actually a great point to bring up. Some of the best driving roads we've driven have been in Oregon, and not just in Eastern Oregon, which are my favorite, which are where the biggest tickets are, just to remind you, and there are no lawyers that service that area, so I'm just going to throw that out there at your own risk if you're going to go have a very spirited drive in Eastern Oregon, because it gets a little rough. But, I mean, the roads out to the coast, there are so many different ways, and I always like to make it a trip. I'm going to go to the coast and find a new way to get there every time.
Yep.
Oh, man. So
yeah, it's awesome. There's so many. And, you know, we do, in the magazine, we do a thing called, you know, the local drive.
Yep.
And I'm like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm like, I just don't. Not only do I know which I don't know which direction to go. There's just so many options, and then, you know, who I want to pull in to see. You know, babe, once you put a drive together, you can put a drive together. You can put a drive together. And there's so many options. It's awesome.
The Heppner Highway, man, everything around the Heppner Highway is heaven. And you got to go east, but man, once you get east of Mount Hood, buckle up.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the coast. Like, some of the times we've been heading down to Monterey and going through Coos and all that. It's. I mean, if you hit it at the right time and it's not like RV season, or
get your ice cream and get going.
Yeah, pretty much. keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Like some of those Eastern Oregon roads are just because you won't see anybody for hours.
Except one cop.
Go. The one cop.
They didn't get pulled over in Eastern Oregon. They got pulled over almost when we were to the hotel. We were in near Bend or whatever.
Oh yeah, more central.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were outside of Antelope.
We were whipping through those hills with Alan when we lost them.
Yeah, we were due south of Antelope when they got pulled over.
Driving.
Yeah.
Normal speed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's been
I know
long.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So tell us a good Avants Portland story. I'd love to hear one, like a memory of a member you met that stuck out to you or anything like that.
Avants Portland story. I don't know.
Our favorite memories.
I'm sure when members come up to you, you're like, "Oh, hey, you're an Avants member. I'm going to be nice to you."
I wave at them.
You wave at them?
Yes.
I bet your car doesn't even say Avants, does it? That's really nice of you. Okay. Horsey. Yeah. So yeah.
Again, it just goes back to the car community and the culture, and I mean, I would just be at an event, and I know Bob, who knows Joe, who knows Judy, who knows Stephanie, who knows Tom, who knows Mark, who knows, you know, and I'll meet kind of almost a whole new group of people, and then we'll go, you know, on a drive, or we'll get invited to a barbecue, and I'll go, and suddenly there's 8 people that walk in that I know that I wasn't expecting to know, because really it's such a connected group of people.
She's ahead of us. She knows their actual names. It's not like, hey, you, I know exactly what you drive, but I don't know your name.
Every time.
Every time.
Made up a bunch of names.
Yeah.
I really did.
Like,
I'm sure there's some
none of those people
Stephanies and Marks
exist.
out
I'm
there.
sure they're there, but yeah.
What are you driving currently? What's your daily driver?
I drive an M35i X2 BMW.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, very useful for Avants events. You can haul things.
Exactly. It's zippy, makes some nice burble noises, and the whole back opens. I can throw a bunch of shit in. Yeah, except for a 10x20 tent.
We are aware of this. I have to go to Brandon Palace.
Do you listen to anybody? Like, I mean, I'm starting to see some patterns. I'm talking to Adam, just so we're clear here. I'm seeing some patterns here. Like,
I have to go to Brandon Palace and pick up the 10x20 on my way home because it doesn't fit in his truck really with the tailgate down. And so I'm going to go pick it up and store it at my house. It's just a block away.
You can come to Portland and pick up the one on my porch that hasn't moved in 6 months.
Does it say Avants Portland on it or just Avants?
Just Avants.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can have them.
Portland road trip. Here we go.
We have to go to Oregon.
We have to go to Oregon and Grants Pass
I was
anyway.
like, yeah, don't we have to go? Okay,
Yeah, we have to go to Grants Pass. So.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm right in LO.
Okay.
Come
There we
swing
go.
by, grab it.
Don't worry, Adam. We got this.
Yep.
So you worked for Ron Tonkin for a long time. Did you really enjoy working with the brand as far as working with Ferrari and Maserati? Was that kind of an interesting, or were you just working for the marketing side of the dealership?
So I was the Ferrari marketing director for the dealership, Maserati as well, but primarily Ferrari, just because they have such a, they're the brand, right?
Yeah.
Ferrari. So there's so many things that you can't do, don't want to do.
Oh, we're fully aware. We've worked with them with Concorso and things like that. So I understand. Yeah.
And so even, photography and all the social media, daily, the emails that are coming in, this is what you can't, not specific, hey, you did that. Well, those have come too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you posted that. But don't stand in front of the car. Don't have that whole thing.
The car needs to be 160 degree of an angle more. Yeah.
Make sure the center caps are upright. Make sure the Ferrari horse is upright.
Yep.
Yeah. All that. Yep. I've seen the tool.
Yep. And those are every day. That information was coming in. So that information needed to come in. Half of it's in Italian. So, you have
Do you
to
speak Italian?
figure it out. Grazie.
See. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm like, Google Translate.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, it was just so much fun because it was, Ferrari is all about experience.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not putting out, billboards and ads. When's the last time you saw a Ferrari billboard?
Sort of driving by me.
Exactly.
That's how they sell it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And the experience. So once you purchase, that you're in the family. So it's all about it, the family experience and coming in and in the dealership. When's the last time you walked into your dealership and sat down unannounced and had, 2 espressos, 1 espresso, whatever it is, and chat?
Do it all the time at the Maserati dealership here, but I used to go to Ron Tongan all the time because I could get my parts cheaper for the Ghibli. All the time.
That's what I'm saying. You walk in, you chat.
Wonderful.
It's fun.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
Right. And you're immersed in if you've never been in a Ferrari or Maserati waiting room, we'll call it waiting. Customer waiting room, I guess.
Lounge. There you go.
The furniture is branded, Ferrari. The books, everything on the shelves behind you is in a certain order. It's an experience. It really is, and I think that's what makes going to those dealerships. Like you see the little kids that go in, and it's an experience. It's something you remember.
Yep. That was like a field trip for me to go to the Ferrari dealership here in Seattle when I was a kid. I was like, I would beg my parents to take me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. And so, we were so much about, making sure, especially the young enthusiasts. I'm like, hey, we're starting them young. Let's get them in the car. Let's, have the picture taken, and I'd walk around and talk through all the cars. And did you know this? Did you know that? And, having it been a Tonkin dealership, of course, they had, a number of the cars from the collection there as well. So I think a few of them might still even be there. So you can go in. You can go see an F40, and Enzo, all kinds of fun.
Beautiful dealership, too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And newly remodeled. They're just finishing the latest.
Did they do another? Okay, it's been a few years since I've been there, obviously, because of COVID.
Just finishing right now.
Okay. All right. Nice.
F40s never get old to me. Of all the Ferraris, the F40 is the one that, there's very few cars because we see so many cars. We're so jaded from being in this community so long that, it's another Lamborghini, it's another Huracan. That's kind of how it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. But an F40, it'll stop me every time. I just stop and just go, that is where it's at.
I think it's the history behind it. It's the fact that that's the last car Enzo touched. And I think that's something that...
Yeah, see, I didn't know that when I knew F40s as a kid, though. I didn't realize that. It stuck with me as such a striking vehicle. That
I think that's what drove it deeper into my memory.
Yeah, probably.
Knowing
it now, it makes
being
me
of our vintage,
yeah.
We had the, I always talk about. I wish I could find it, like the Trapper Keeper with either the Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah,
yeah. Yep. I said Trapper Keeper to somebody's like, what? I'm like, it was a plastic folder. Yeah, we're cool to have it.
Yeah,
and we had
tapes too.
We had tapes too. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you had to wait for the radio to play your song before you could get it onto a tape because you didn't want to go to whatever it was. I would say Blockbuster, but Hastings. But I think that
Sam
the F40 was the first Ferrari that that I learned to love outside of the Testarossa, and I didn't even know really what a Testarossa was. I knew what a Countach
Miami
was.
Vice.
Well, but I'm saying like those were the two posters we all had. You had the red Countach and you had the white or black Testarossa. Which is ironic because you'd think that Ferrari would have wanted a red Testarossa out there against a red Countach. Think about that. Like all the Ferraris from the 80s that we remember weren't red. Magnum PI, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, besides the Magnum PI Ferrari, that's kind of weird.
So, because red is such an, I mean, you can probably speak to this. Red is such an iconic color with Ferrari and the fact it means so much to them.
Well, do you know why?
No. It's almost like I was leading you to that.
Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you.
That was in my notes, too. I'm like, please remember this. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, F1, the racing, the teams were given their colors. Mm-hmm. And so simply it was, well, you get red.
Huh.
Well, that took all the air out of the sail.
That's it. You get red.
Which is interesting because Alpha, I mean, when we were with Fred, and he was talking about, Ferraris, or Alphas becoming Ferraris and Enzo Ferrari taking over the Alpha team. Were Alphas not red at the time?
They were red. Italian. The Italian teams.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. So it's by country, by color.
Oh, got it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Were the Brits green?
They had to be.
I feel like.
Racing. Yeah. Racing green.
America.
Yeah.
Here's plain white.
It's attached to a Corvette. It's fine.
Yeah. Face 18, white Corvette. Yeah.
With a mullet. Yeah. With a mullet. Okay.
Face didn't have a mullet?
Huh?
Face didn't have a mullet?
Not face. I just said, just let it go, Corvette. I didn't hear what you said, and we're going to let it go.
Anyway.
Face did not have a mullet. I pity the fool. Yeah.
Poor Dirk Benedict.
Did you know a lot about, were you a big fan of Ferrari before you going to the dealership?
I mean, I was a fan, not a
But did you have
huge,
the passion?
I was not a, oh my God, I'm going to, no.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and I walk in and years ago, and actually it was just before I started, and I was sitting down at a dinner party or something, and somebody was like, oh my God, you're going to wear, oh, jeez. And they pull up their laptop, and they're like, oh my God, my favorite car right now is a, whatever it was, 458, and, blah, blah, and I'm like, oh my God, is this ever going to make sense to me? It all makes sense now. So, once you really absorb it and
take it all in. And
I was going to ask,
live the brand.
Live the brand, baby.
I was going to ask if you had like that passion moment. Was it before Ferrari or was it at Ferrari?
For Ferrari itself?
No, just in cars. I mean, like you said the movie, but like all of us, we were talking about how we had these dream cars growing up. Did you have one and then it just kind of got driven home with Ron Tonkin, or was there like
from Alaska? It was a snowmobile.
Fair.
Skidoo, 1987 Skidoo.
Skidoo.
Yeah. So.
I loved cars. Did I ever have one specific that it was always the one I was driving.
Oh, that's Truly. A great answer, actually.
Yeah. And it still is.
Love the one you're with.
It still is. I will.
You still get out of your car when you're walking away, look back?
Yeah.
So that's passion. I said that to somebody, and somebody goes, no. And I'm like, you're in the wrong car. What do you mean? I was like, if you don't get out of your car and like.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, my neighbors have caught me just staring at my car.
Totally.
What's wrong? Nothing.
I'd always lock my
Why?
C63.
What, do you see something wrong?
I would just walk away and lock my C63 and hope it would explode. That was the only one. It's like, beep. Ah, damn, it's still there.
Dramatic 80s walk away.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Fair.
Sorry. No, I was. That's exactly my. Sorry. Well, I will drive by a park, and I'm like, oh. Moment, get out, take a picture, and people are like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
That's a great,
and I'm like, "Yeah, I can't help it." Get back in my car, off I go.
Does your car have a name?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
she's beautiful. I want to call her.
It's just too easy, way too easy. Like, yeah, somebody's touching their car.
Actually.
You are beautiful in everything you do. Yeah.
Since you've done the Avants stuff and you've been exposed to so many new cars that you normally wouldn't have, because one of the best things about Avants is the unique cars people show up with.
Totally.
It's like Radwood all the time. Has there been one that's caught your eye more than you expected? Like any of those moments? I have a lot of those at every Avants meet. Something will show up where I'm like, I did not like that as much as I do until now.
Like you saw it and you're like up close and personal.
Yeah, or just see something that like I didn't appreciate because they're usually just rusted and gone. Then I'll see somebody who's like taken immaculate care of. Like a perfect example. When I was a kid, I had no appreciation for a Celica GT4. You were talking about your Celica. Now I see like really nice ones show up in Avants. I'm like, damn, that is sweet. And I know the rally heritage behind it. So I have those moments all the time when I come to the Avants meets.
Yep. There's so many. They're just, I mean, I'll just go from one to one to one. We just did an event at Avant-Garde, and they sell so many cars on Bring a Trailer. And so they had to get this warehouse down the street to start housing because they're so backlogged. And so they have these little plastic beautiful covers, and they're pulling off all these covers, and they're just like one after the other. Oh my God, Saab, Maserati. I mean, they're all classic and crazy and beautiful and immaculate. I mean, it's just so beautiful. I love one of my favorite cars. I mean, it always has been, but it as I'm going around and I get to really be around them more, is the Volvo P1800.
Oh yeah, very cool
I
car.
love that car.
Yeah.
So as I'm, every time I see one, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have one of those one day. But I just gonna get closer and closer, and yeah, I haven't driven one yet. So I did say that about a Fiat Spider though years ago. So, and then I drove it.
One?
Don't meet your heroes. That whole
So
thing.
Volvos
Don't
now,
meet
yeah.
your heroes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Volvo might be different. I'm crossing my fingers.
Well, Avants members, Portland, hook a girl up.
Yeah.
Hey, Daryl.
Make her.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
So that's a focus dream there. She's about ready to call out Daryl's address. Daryl at 872.
Great.
I know where you live, and I know what Volvo you have. Yeah.
Well, that's a good one.
What's the dream car? What would you be? I mean, is the Volvo the car that you would be driving if somebody said?
The dream car. Oh, 1975 Celica GT.
Okay.
Oh, going back to the OG.
100%. Yep. I've been shopping for one. I mean, my brother and I wanted to rebuild one for a while. Now I just need garage space. There's a story we all know about.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll happen sometime.
That's cool.
Do you know what happened to yours?
I do.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I was going to say.
Never mind.
That ends sadly.
It wasn't me. No.
Oh, okay. That's
It didn't
a little
have
better.
air conditioning, so I actually sat in my garage for about a year in Ketchikan while I was living in Los Angeles, and I'm like, I better sell it and get something, Sold to a friend. He would literally send me pictures and tell me about it. Oh, I washed it for you today, did this, did that.
Just holding it for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I had plans of buying it back, but then, he gave me first right of refusal, and I'm like, I can't, don't, whatever. And then sold it, and then it went to another island, and then it's probably still up on the blocks that it ended up on after a wreck. Or at least bits of it are.
Ew.
It's a little rusty.
Oh.
Things get a little rusty up there.
You said after the wreck part, that ruined it for me. I was
Yep.
like, oh, if it just stopped running, let's go rescue it. No.
So, there
Okay.
it is. Yep.
I like that you have a car like that as a dream car. That's kind of cool. Like, I'm over here like, McLaren F1, 75 Celica.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's just kind of giving up on it. Like, I mean, have a dream and stick to it for once, would you?
Right. Maybe I just don't have any imagination.
No, it's not that.
Well,
You gotta.
I was going to ask, you've been up and down the coast. You've been to Florida. You said you were there. Have you done any big road trips?
How big? I mean, I did
That's kind of up to you.
LA to Portland. There's that.
You can do that in a day.
Yep.
But then where did I fly into? Gosh, somewhere, I don't know. I was younger. But we did this whole trip, up in Alaska and ended up in Fairbanks. We were taking my brother to college.
Okay.
So, I mean, off in the wilds, and, you're trying to dart around moose and things like that. So.
Actually, that's on my list. I've never been to Alaska, and it's on one of my dream trips is to drive up there. So,
You should.
Take the monkeys.
don't tempt me.
I'm
like,
I've tempted you.
Summer Alcan 5000 on the monkeys.
Absolutely.
5,000 miles.
Those two idiots did it on Honda 125.
Groms, didn't they?
No, the trail sports ones.
Oh, yeah.
They went all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go to Dead Horse. Prudhoe Bay.
Absolutely.
They got oil. Gas is probably cheaper.
Probably cheaper up there. Yeah.
In our 1-gallon tanks.
Pretty much.
Bring your bug spray.
I mean, It's funny because one of the first conversations Dan and I ever had, we were talking about doing a road trip, and you were at the time you were going to take the GTR.
Yeah, on the Winter Alcan 5000.
Winter Alcan, and then we talked about taking the Land Cruiser up and going all the way up.
Well, Nissan told me no. They said it was too cold. And they said it's too cold for the transmission. True story.
Yeah.
They said we haven't tested it that low, or we have, and it's too cold. It won't shift. And Porsche was like, Yeah, you just got to change it to this fluid and good to go, no problem. Like
Right.
they were like, duh, this is easy.
I mean, that's exactly.
We've done this with every car. What's your problem? Just change your tires and do this. And I was like, oh. And now I'm with the Raptor, which is probably a little easier.
So Godzilla freezes is what we learned real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more finicky than the Germans.
I've not spent much time in Alaska at all. And, I mean, it
I'm
calls to
sensing
me.
a road trip. Ooh, Avants.
Yeah, it's between here and Alaska that like that part of Canada.
Yeah, the store own Alcan. The Avants Alcan.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no copyright infringement there.
We'll borrow somebody's car.
The Avants Alcan has a nice ring to it. The Avants Tuk 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 doesn't quite have the same ring, but we can
I
do
don't
it.
know. I kind of like that. We may be onto something here.
I love our crazy ideas.
And while we're up there, if
I
we
like
take the Raptor, we can bring somebody's Celica back.
That's true. I'll bring a trailer.
Hey.
Get my Harbor Freight trailer.
We'll literally
take the
bring a
sides off it.
trailer. Yeah. We'll literally bring a trailer. Yeah. Okay.
Literally
Tell
bring
ya.
a trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
I
All
I
right.
know.
in.
This is how these ideas start. This is how the monkey thing started. Everything.
I
So,
know.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
don't say that because we'll be like, hey, we're ready to go.
I'm in.
Christy's like, you don't know
We're
that.
We're
really,
like, I'm not in,
we're really
I'm not
good
in.
at calling people's bluffs and like, okay, let's go. We all bought everything. Like,
My phone's blowing up
Yeah.
because he's over there. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how Brian got onto the monkey thing. He's like, I want to go. Okay, we're going.
For two bikes
Two
later.
bikes later, yeah. So Captain America bike now. So
Yeah. Anyway.
yeah.
All right. How long are you in Seattle? Did you just fly up to come see us?
just to see you.
Oh man, I
From
feel
Florida.
so special. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I thought you came from Portland for some reason. You actually flew from Florida.
Yeah, flew in from Florida just to see you guys.
Boy, her arm's tired. That wasn't
Bad.
my laugh. Just so we're clear.
All right, what's coming up next for Avants in Portland? Do you know?
Man,
And I
yeah.
put you on the spot. But I don't have we don't have
We've
our notes on
got.
us.
That's all right. I got get some.
Hold on,
all
let
up
me get
here.
my phone. Oh wait.
Where's your notes? This weekend we've got a track day with Hooked on Driving out at PIR. Super excited about that.
If you haven't done a track day, do it. Everybody, listen. Doesn't matter what you
Track
drive. Get
day.
out there. You will be glad you did it.
Do it. We've got then Sunday we've got a whole back to basics over at Heckman and Thiemann. Because some people don't like to admit they don't know how to change a tire, so they're gonna kind of or they don't know how to where the pressure points on the car if you want to jack it up, things like that. Back to basics.
Go YouTube the video, jacking up a Lexus, and it will be the first thing that pops up, and you will cry. And you will remember, this is very important information to know
Very
before I
important.
collapse my side of
From
my
the-
Somebody
vehicle.
told me
About-
his insurance refused to pay for that.
Really? Oh, hopefully
I don't
YouTube-
know. I don't know, but yeah, that's
Yeah, if you miss a jack point, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Heckman and
and
Thiemann.
you can always learn.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was off a little bit on mine. I learned a little. I mean, I know, but
Oh,
as
no,
far
I
as
d-
pinch
I did-
welds and all that, yeah.
So I'm wearing the Avants 944 shirt right now. And I
People
was.
can see that on camera, Dan.
Yeah. Hi.
Put those
Jake.
away.
It's my first.
Jake.
My first car that I got myself. Don't be impressed. I paid nothing for it because these things were used to be worth nothing. And so I got this 85 and a half, which is a late model 944. I did not know where the jack point was, and I missed the one on the frame, and I dented the floor. And I took a rubber mallet and pounded the
Beat it
floor
back
back
down,
down. I took
More
the-
aerodynamic
took
that way.
the floor mat out and pounded it as well as I could back into shape. And then the rubber mallet didn't work so well, so I got a steel mallet.
Yeah.
And I dented
Harder.
it the other
It's a
way.
hammer.
So
Yeah, but you know how to fix that. You put the jack under there and you start jacking it up a little bit. And then you just kind of go back and forth until it works itself back and yeah.
with a brick.
Oh,
Because the
even
brick
better.
is flat.
That's smart.
And then I just put the floor mat down, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Has this been in an accident? Not really.
true story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had been in an accident. My bad.
Yeah, that's the good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what trail braking was at that time, but I knew what a sign felt like. Anyway. Good times.
I don't think the three of us should be in the room. Yeah, this is dangerous.
Anyway, ask the stupid questions because they're not stupid. You just don't know yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gotta ask him.
And that's a great place to go.
Why are you both looking at me? I asked plenty of stupid questions. So
Neither of us knew what a MIG welder was
yeah,
until
I know.
today.
Right?
We knew in theory.
In theory, yeah, it's a thing that makes metal stick to each other.
That's right.
So with heat,
Didn't
Yeah.
ask me.
right?
That's true. Should have. Bet you Sheri knows. Bet you Chrissy knows.
That's a good question. Now. Did you grow up learning how to weld? Did you?
I've welded before.
Yeah, I was gonna say because coming from your background, it's like we need to learn how to weld. Okay, well get out there and do it. Yeah,
It's been a while. I was like 10.
That's pretty cool.
So,
It's a good upbringing.
Been a while.
Yeah, I wish I learned when I was younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for making the very long flight to join us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm a little jealous of your tan.
Awesome.
I'm feeling very pale.
It might. Yeah. I guess I am. Weird.
I'm reflective, so yes.
Nobody believed that. Oh, am I tan? Oh, what? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
You guys, you noticed?
Oh, okay. You're on camera. People can see this. So, yeah.
This is rad. That's super fun.
Good. I'm glad you had a good
guys.
time. I'm glad you're here. We are looking forward to hopefully coming to visit you down there more often. We want to get down there and meet. I know a few of the members just from passing through. Chris Munch, hello.
Are we allowed there? I mean, yeah, we'll come back.
Totally.
We'll come back.
Is there like a legal situation I'm not aware of?
Not
in
anymore.
Portland, not in Portland.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the least of their worries.
Yeah, exactly. We're calm compared to the other things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you are allowed. If
Oh,
you would
thank
like
you.
to
Appreciate
this
that. Yeah.
open invitation.
We can stay at her house. You heard her.
That's true.
We know there's a tent on her front porch,
Wait,
so
did I
it's pretty
say
easy.
that?
So
It says Avants.
you can camp anywhere you
Really?
want in Portland right now. Everybody knows that.
You Vaught's tent in the street. There you go.
Exactly. We're good. We're good. Hey, could you feed us? So she's gonna get off this and look at Adam and go, they don't know where I live, right? Especially the fat one. Does he know where? No, he doesn't know where I live. Okay, good.
Jeez.
Got it.
Anyway.
What do we have coming up with Avants here?
I have no idea.
Oh,
And you don't have your notes.
I would literally pull it up on my phone. Yeah.
We will just
Pause. Yeah.
we're pausing. All right, so there's the Portland International Raceway event you talked about.
Yep.
Charter member photo shoot Sunday, April 10th. That's always good. Avants Women's Autocross. That'll be a really good one. That's Portland. And that is Saturday, April 16th. And then Avants Autocross at Sanderson Field. Off-road, April 16th. Is that?
It's a week early because
That's right. I can
because
actually go to that one.
the third week of that is they're going to be. In fact, we may actually be there. We've been invited out to the rally, the Olympic.
Oh,
rally.
the Overland Rally.
Not the Overland Rally.
Oh, the Olympic. Oh, yeah. We can talk about that.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
So the big announcement, though, is coming up on Thursday, April 21st. And that we have an evening with Randy Popst. He will be on the show.
It's not Probst?
It's not Probst.
I think I called him that at dinner, but okay. Probably why he didn't like me.
So we're with Randy Popst. We're going to do a Q&A session here at MotoFish, and we're going to obviously be recording the podcast live. We will have an audience. And
Yeah, so if you're here, shut up. No. Yeah, you handle that, Adam?
yeah, the members love that. Welcome. Shut up.
I said welcome first.
Registration is open. It's limited to 50 people, so who knows? By the time we put this up, it might be sold out. But we would love to have you guys join us, and of course, we will be recording that. And he'll be in action racing Lucky Dog Racing at the Ridge Motorsports Park in Shelton on April 22nd through the 24th. So if you want to come go see him race, beyond what you see on Motor Trend TV and on YouTube, and the reviews he does. And also, he's a really nice guy. We've had dinner with Randy. We've been able to meet him a couple times. Great guy.
He just did a really great episode of Vin Wiki. They had brought him in. So, yeah.
Yep. You guys will like Randy. He's
Good
cool.
dude. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Avants. I had an accent there for a second. Avants Portland listeners.
Yeah.
Please, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you as well, and hopefully you'll tune in more often. We're trying to get as many guests as we can from your area because we like it down there.
Well, maybe we can get you guys down to our area.
I would love
about
that,
that?
actually.
Oh, I'm not going down there.
Okay, we still haven't figured out you're legally allowed in Oregon.
Those are two separate things.
I would love to do a meetup down there, actually. Portland's there's one great food, and like you said, a lot of great driving roads, a lot of great places to go down there. So for those of you who are rolling it out, you're missing out on some of the best driving in the country. And it's right down south.
Agreed. All right. Well, for this episode of the Avants podcast.
Ooh, good job.
I'm Nick.
I'm Dan. And don't just get there. Enjoy the drive.